Welcome to this Amelkis XBRL training entitled, XBRL Tagging Training. This training is intended for Amelkis users and more generally for all those who wish to know more about this standard. Please be aware that if you have any questions, you can contact Amelkis support. In this training we will tag the primary statement of a universal registration document. We will tag the income statement, net comprehensive income statement, statement of financial position, change in shareholder equity and also the mandatory informations. As you know, the Amelkis XBRL allows you to automatically tag tables from an Excel file specifying the tag to apply for each amount. To use this functionality you must create a tagging file in the Amelkis format. In this first part of the training we will explain each of the columns of this Amelkis template. The first step is to copy the rows from your tables to the label column. You must repeat this operation according to the number of columns in each table. In this example, the income statement that we want to tag presents a comparison over 2 years. We therefore have to copy the same wording a second time just below. We then performed the same operation for the net comprehensive income statement, asset, liabilities and statement of financial position. For change in shareholder equity we have to copy the rows 6 times since the table has 6 columns. Note that when you copy the rows from your tables to the tagging file, you should not post the rows that do not have an amount. It is most often titles which organize the tables. For example, you should not report the cash flow from operating activities or derecognition of income and expenses with no impact on cash lines in the tagging file since there is no amount to tag opposite. Also note that you must copy all lines that have dashes. Amelkis XBRL will automatically replace dashes with zeros. Now go to the cross column. This column allows the software to identify the location of amounts in tables. To explain this coordinate, the letter corresponds to the column and the number corresponds to the row. The first amount at the top left of each table will always be cell A0. It is from this point that all other coordinates are defined. In my example the income statement has 4 columns. 2020, variation. 2019 and variation. The year 2020 therefore begins with A0 and ends with A25. While the year 2019 begins with C0 and ends with C25. In my example I don't tag by percentages. So I did not carry over columns B and D.
We then perform the same operation for the net comprehensive income statement. For the assets, for the equity and liabilities, for the statement of financial position, and for the change in shareholder equity.
Note that you can view all the crossings in the Amelkis XBRL application by clicking on the Preview Table button. The element name column is used to define the concept you want to use for tagging. Example: for cell A0 of document 320,000 the tag is revenue. The role type column allows you to specify the role type of the concept. 320,000 for the income statement. 420,000 for the net comprehensive income statement. 210,000 for the statement of financial position. 520,000 for the cash flow statement. 610,000 for change in shareholder equity. You must then define a period for each tag. The date must correspond to the type of concept. If your concept is duration you must tag an interval, for example the 1st of January 2020 _ the 31st of December 2020. And if your concept is of the instant type, you must tag an end date of the period. For example the 31st of December 2020. In both cases you must always respect the format, year, month and day. For the income statement, we have tagged the first column the 1st of January 2020 _ the 3rd of December 2020 and the second column the 1st of January 2019 _ the 31st of December 2019. For statement of financial position, you must tag a date in instant format. The first column is therefore tagger the 31st of December 2020.
For change in shareholder equity, all the concepts in my example are tagged in duration except equity, which is tagged instant.
Note that for each column of change in shareholder equity the dates are the same. Now go to the unit column. This column allows you to specify the unit to apply. For monetary concepts, you must indicate the currency code. You can use any currency code you want. For other types of concepts, you must use the corresponding units. For example, for percent item type concepts, you will have to tag with pure unit. For per share item type concepts, it will be per share. For the concepts shares item type, it will be share. Now go to the scale column. In most cases, issuers present data in thousands or millions. The scale is used to convert the amount of the document into unit. In our example, the amounts are in thousands of euros. We therefore entered 3 in the scale column except for earnings per share and diluted earnings per share. For these concepts, you will need to set a scale to 0. Now go to the precision column. It allows the application to round up the tagged amount. In general, companies do not round their amounts. In order not to round your amounts, you must adapt the precision according to the scale. If you have a scale 3, you must put -3 in precision. If you have a scale 6, you must put -6 in precision. And if you have to tag a result per share in euros with 2 decimal places, as in our example, you must choose a scale of 0 and a precision of 2. You will be able to check your units in the report inline XBRL that we will generate at the end of the training. Now go to the cents column. As you know, the taxonomy automatically manages the calculation formulas according to the cents debit or credit of the concepts. The cents column allows you to reverse the sign of the amounts of your report. In our example, the amount of payroll expenses is -9,101, or in the ESIF regulation, the application will automatically subtract the tagged amount to calculate the profit/loss from recurring operations. For the ESIF calculation to work, you must therefore reverse the sign of the document. You must apply this logic to all the debtor concepts of the income statement by adding a minus in the cents column. For the assets, all concepts are debtor, so the application adds up all amounts without changing their sign. So you don't have to reverse the signs on your documents. For the liabilities, all concepts are creditor, so the application adds up all the amounts without changing their sign. So you don't have to reverse the signs on your documents. For the statement of financial position, all totalizes are generally debtors, or meaningless. Depending on your presentation, you will probably have to reverse all the creditor concepts. In the change in shareholder equity, and depending on your presentation, you must surely reverse debtor concepts such as dividends paid. When you have tagged all your tables, you will have to run the calculations to validate that your signs are correctly managed. The DIM1 and Value1 columns allow a second dimension to be used for tagging. This feature is systematically used to tag the change in shareholder equity. To tag the share capital column, we entered issued capital member in the Value1 column. To tag the share premiums column, we entered share premium member in the Value1 column. To tag the reserves and retained earnings column, we entered reserves and retained earnings member. To tag the equity group share column, we entered equity attributable to owners of parent member. To tag the column non-controlling interests, we entered non-controlling interests member. And finally, to tag the total equity column, we have not entered any member. To use this functionality, you must enter in column DIM1 the dimension to which the values issued capital member, share premium member belong. This is components of equity axis. The version column allows you to add a comment to the tags to facilitate tagging. In our example, we have added asset and liabilities in this column. In this way, the application understands that there are two different tables for the same role type. Here we have finished this first part of the training. We are now going to tag the document. To tag a document, you must connect to Amelkis XBRL. You must have created a taxonomy. If you have not created your taxonomy, we invite you to watch the taxonomy training. You must then create a report. To create your report, select the reporting module and press New. Enter a reporting name and label. Select your closing date. Select your taxonomy. Enter the LEI code and the name of the issuer that you used in the taxonomy file. In the example, it was demo. You must then go to the tagging module to import your PDF document and tag it. Click the Import button. Click Browse and select your PDF. Give the PDF file a name. Select the language of your document and click Save. For information, the theme, the workflow, the project are features of the Disclosure Management module. They are not used in the tagging of a PDF document. Then close the window. You can now select the document and click on Tag. On the left side you have the PDF document converted to HTML. If your document has more than 50 pages, a selector will appear at the top left. Let's go to the right side of the screen. You have two functions, manual tagging and automatic tagging. Manual tagging makes it possible in particular to tag descriptive information. And automatic tagging allows you to tag tables. Just before tagging, you must also define the format of the thousands separator and decimal that you want to use. To do this, you must click in the automatic tagging on the More Detail button and select the thousands and decimal separator corresponding to your document to tag your tables. Now go to the automatic tagging module. Click on the Import button to import the Excel tagging file. Give your Excel file a name, select it and click Save. All your tables appear in the application. Now go to tag the income statement. Click on Table. A marker appears. Hold the selection and draw an area including all the amounts. Then let go. All amounts appear in green. You can press Preview Table if you want to check the coordinates of your amounts. To tag, you must then select the table corresponding to your selection and click on Tag. The application tells you that the table is tagged. To view the tags, you must press the pen. To delete the tags, you must select the document and click on Delete Tags. Then reproduce the operation for the net comprehensive income statement, for the asset, for the liabilities, for the statement of financial position, and for the change in shareholder equity. You can check that your calculation formulas are working correctly by clicking on the C icon. This table shows for each amount, document value, sign, the fact value, the concept sign. The calculation corresponds to the sign, the calculated value, the validation of the control.
For more visibility, you can export these calculations to Excel. Now go to the Mandatories informations. SF imposes to tag 10 Mandatories informations.
The best practice is to put this information together on a page in order to simplify tagging. To tag, for example, the name of the issuer, select the text, select the tag and click on Tag. Then tag all other information. The green icon indicates that the information is tagged. Press the pen to check the tagged areas. Amelkis XBRL allows you at any time to generate the list of all the tagged information with all the details by clicking on Report Tagging. When you have finished tagging, you can generate the compliance report directly from the application. This report will allow you to correct any configuration, mapping or tagging errors. To do this, you must click on Update Taxonomy and then on Launch Validation. To facilitate the analysis, you can export the report to Excel. In our example, the report shows only one rounding error, but you can have all types of errors. Examples: you haven't registered a WIDA for an extension. You have not created a label for an extension. Your labels do not respect the rules of compliance. You tag a duration concept with an instant date. You use the same concept to tag two different amounts. You tag negative amounts with concepts that explicitly state that the amounts must be positive. In any case, know that Amelkis support is there to help you if you have difficulty understanding the error messages and resolving these errors. When you have finished analyzing your compliance report, you can generate your inline XBRL file. You can then open it in your downloads. Click on XBRL item to see the tagged information highlighted. You can select the language in which the concepts are displayed in the viewer. By clicking on an amount, you view the tag detail on the right side. The concept, the period, the fact value, the WIDA, the code of the entity, the label of the concept. You can also view the calculation formulas. You can also generate the filling according to ESMA rules. The tagging training is now finished. Thank you for your attention. The Amelkis team is at your disposal if you have any questions.